Shop the Sherwin-Williams Super Sale and get 40% off paints and stains September 19th through the 24th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Weight loss solutions are not one size fits all. Hers makes it simpler to get started and stick with a weight loss plan, backed by expert-guided online care that puts your weight loss goals first. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full up front. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply.
It's the SEC opener. So we got to dive into a lot of that stuff and more here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show. A Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. That's Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. I don't think we deserve it. Go ahead and give us 5 anyway. Gift it. So, on today's episode, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, Coop. A lot of good things to dive into. First and foremost, depth chart. That was released, and we got a few things that are interesting in it. Injury report. There's a lot of injuries that have been floating around, and we got to talk about that. Jackson Arnold makes his valiant return to Oklahoma. What do we think actually happens? I mean, we've got a few days to really kind of fester on it and really dive into it. So, Coop, happy Wednesday, man. You look great. How you feeling?
You know I'm not feeling terrific. Been fighting pneumonia for the past 3 days. Apparently, all the funk that was kind of killing me the past couple days finally got me. And so I've spent about 35 of the past 48 hours asleep. So I'm well rested.
Wow.
Hopefully, I'm going to be there. Got to be there on Saturday. Got to get ready. Got to get myself ready. So, so I'm good.
You gotta get them in your system, man. As many narcotics as possible going, because we need you. We need you and your energy there. I'm not gonna be there, be able to make it. My kid has multiple events going on at once. Yeah, It's apparent you're a parent when you look up and you got track meets, you got soccer matches right afterwards. So I'll be on my couch ready to watch. We'll go live probably right afterwards with John over on Locked On. Probably do something maybe later in the evening with Coop when he's back home. Or, of course, we'll just wait and do something on Sunday like we always do. But it is the opening week for SEC play for the Oklahoma Sooners. And we've got to talk about, as we know, the depth charts here, man. Let me see if I can find it. Don't. I've been playing around and searching for it, but it's very interesting what it feels like Oklahoma is doing. I feel like there's gamesmanship going on here. Am I crazy to feel like that?
No. I feel like there's a lot of shenanigans going on with the injuries and everything and the depth chart. Lots of shenanigans, evil shenanigans. I mean, that's what you feel. We've got, the SEC stuff makes you have to put out the depth chart. We haven't had to do it. I think we did it at week 1. And then, we just, am I wrong? We didn't do it second week or third week, did we? We've only done one.
No, we did the first one and then this one now.
Which that was more more for the fans on the week 1, but yeah,
it feels like.
you're gonna do the gamesmanship stuff. Who's going to be practicing at this point? You're 25% through the season, and I know that just even saying that out loud just kind of makes people a little sad already, because you're like, man, this is it's going well. So, but yeah, gamesmanship, 100%. You're gonna see who's out there on Saturday when we get out there.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. It doesn't feel like, it feels like for real gamesmanship. Like we're not really, showing our cards or whatnot. But when you look at it, I know this is probably pretty small for a lot of you. Sorry about that. You're just gonna have to bear with the people. This is kind of how it comes out as Coop coughs up his lungs a few times because he loves y'all so much that he's coming to work with coughing up lungs. Your number one back is Torrey Blaylock. Keontez Lewis is listed on here, even though he's not supposed to play. Sip of his water. Jared Kanek, of course, is your de facto number one tight end. Shout out to him. Fasusi's a or with Baklinko. Ozeda's a or with EPL. Offense, you really only got 3 ors. And that other or is Ott and X-Rob oring it out there at the bottom of the running back pole. But then on defense, every single one of them is an or. There's an or in all of them. I think the one that jumped out to me the most, though, for real, looks like PJ is going to be in for R. Mason Thomas in the first half, which I think that's actually a really good thing. Have a 6'4", 270 dude come in for your pass rusher that he can rush and he can stop the run because of the suspension. But Coop, Kendall Daniels, and Reggie Powers are an or at the Cheetah. Plus Kendall Daniels is an or at the will linebacker. It feels like we've got something up our sleeve.
Listen, I mean, if we're wanting to jump in, what the depth chart on the on the offense, I actually expect Keontez Lewis to play. So I will say that personally. Now, that's only based off a few. Here's one. Here's something else. Make your own assumption. We'll find out on game time. But regardless, we'll get into the offense a bit against that. But I mean, we're going to be playing what we saw against Michigan. Auburn does what Michigan did, and that's just their entire identity. That's how they play. It is the Oklahoma against Alabama 2024. That's what they're going to do. Now, the thing is you have better receivers on Auburn, and you have a better offensive line than we were throwing out there at that point last year. I do think Auburn's offensive line is pretty good, especially up the middle. So we're going to have one of those situations to where you're going to have Brent Venables in his bag of trickery, and he's going to have a lot of options out there on who's lining up where. And if we know anything, it's you want to confuse Jackson Arnold, not a tall task. He's still doing a lot of guessing in the RPO game. It's still like, I assume this is going to be here. So if you can line out a situation to where you have a Reggie Powers, a Kendall Daniels, and let's go with a Samuel Masigo out there, and you don't know who is what, that is going to help out quite a bit, because one of those guys is going to be, really focused on tight ends. One of the guys is going to be in coverage. One of the guys is going to be in on run support. And so those are the things that you're going to want to confuse Jackson in the entire day, is who's doing what position. And if you have Samio, Kendall, and Powers all out there who all play Cheetah, who's what? Reggie Powers is good enough. Reggie Powers is dang near. I want to say, let me look at this real quick. Here at a 214. I mean, that's what Kip was playing at, at the beginning of the year last year, was like 214, maybe
something
even
like
at
that,
the end of the year 2 years ago. Yeah. So they're going to want to try to run the ball, and they're going to want to try to put Oklahoma in conflict. And so how do you do the opposite of that? You put them in conflict on knowing what's what. And I really think that, you heard John Mateer say, when you're in a +1 kind of running quarterback strategy, that really stresses out the defense. And so you got to find a way to answer that. And we just happen to have somebody who's really good at being a defensive coordinator on our side of the field.
Yeah, the interesting thing is you got Brent Venables' defense, which everybody has referenced in their conversations about Oklahoma, is people are actually understanding and appreciating the fact that Brent Venables is just really good at being a defensive coordinator. The jury's still out as far as a head coach, not for me, because I actually understood what he was trying to do and what he was trying to build. But he's a darn good defensive coordinator and calling plays. And as the players will tell you, man, the plays he called, man, like, it's funny. Kendall Daniels was talking about that hit against Michigan, and he's like, yeah, that was a great call by coach. And, because we were thinking it was going to be this, and it lined up right to what we thought it would be. He's like, I could have intercepted that pass, but I decided I just wanted to hit him instead. I'm just like, that's nice. But unfortunately, we have no turnovers so far, Coop. And I think that's been like one of the biggest, like, I guess you could say shockers for not only me and everybody else. We ain't got no we ain't got no turnovers, man. What do you think could be the reason why?
Opportunity. I mean, really, that's what it is. I would say that I'm a little surprised that there hasn't been at least a couple fumble causes. We saw Taylor Wine and Gilmore, get in there and, really, really lay some smacks and create a fumble. But that's just it's been an opportunity. We've talked about the limited amount of, these guys aren't staying on the field. We're going out there and it's 3 and out and it's done. So if you've got 2 running plays and then one very, very conservative passing play, and then you're off the field, that just doesn't give you a lot of opportunities. And listen, I would love them, but looking at what this defense has done so far, I say go glass half full, and I'm saying even don't look at the 1% of the glass that's not full. I think it's 99% full. I think for this defense, you have gotten everything you've wanted out of this defense. This defense has not let us down yet. And so I would say this. That's how much better this defense can get, is so when those opportunities start coming up and you start playing more of these teams in the conference and people are going to lay it all out there, they're going to take more risk. Michigan realized really, really soon, let's not do any risks. Temple, same situation. We had some downfield ideas going on, but now we can't get the ball out with our quarterback getting killed, so let's minimize the risks because Temple, Illinois State, and Michigan all had conferences and all had, divisions to play for. And now that you get into the SEC play, now you're going to see guys who are going to be willing to take a little bit more risks. And I think it's going to start this week.
I think it is too. I think we're going to go ahead and, because it's SEC play now, we need to put ourselves in a circumstance where we can start to lead from the front. So we need to make a statement. And the hits that you see, we need more of those. We're going to be, I know players are going to be leading to take people out. That's kind of be the mindset is, I'm trying to get as many turnovers as possible in this game. And like you said, like some people have even pointed out here in the comments section, the film guys was pointing out that Jackson Arnold still is showing the signs of staring down the defender, so staring down the receiver. If he's staring his receivers down still, that's kind of a problem, right?
Well, I mean, you even look at the big play where he did the jump ball to Coleman at the pylon. I think that was this past weekend. I mean, I think that's their longest play of the year, and it was like 38 yards. And so he just tossed the ball up, and it came down. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. It's 32. 32 is their longest pass play of the season. But he throws the ball up. That was just an absolute mismatch of a D1 athlete, top end wide receiver, and a player from South Alabama. So, I mean, it still was behind him. I think in a better defensive scheme, better defensive players out there, that ball's an incomplete pass. But, yeah, he looked at it. He was going that way the entire time. And when he saw that opportunity, I think that's where you're going to see some options here for us this week is – he's not going to progress. Listen, guys, I will say if there's anything that I can guarantee, there's not going to be options where Jackson Arnold is looking read 1, read 2, read 3, and then taking off. Like he's going to be read 1, read 2 max. And if he's got the stare down going on, is he going to have enough time to stare down somebody and either decide to toss it up or not? And I would say if you see some of those back shoulder throws, those things are, I mean, they're going to have to be a circus catch on the sideline, and they're going to have to earn those catches this week.
They're going to earn all of them. Every single one of them is going to be required in order to make it happen. I know that the biggest thing that's been talked about with their offense has been no one has tried to force them to throw. And I thought it was funny that in Baylor's game, that's not what they did at all, even though they were getting gashed the entire game, dog. Like, what are we doing? Coop, like, what are we doing here? So I'm looking at our defense. I'm like, we're a very stout run defense overall. One bad play we gave up to Michigan. You're a pretty stout defense on the run. So what is my expectation? That's literally what we're going to do. We're going to focus in on making sure we fill our gaps properly. You're going to have to throw the ball against us, dog. And I think it was Pollock that pointed out he didn't look very good passing the ball across the middle. And we'll talk about Jackson Arnold even more on the other side. But the one thing that I know about them as far as defense too goes is their DBs not only are dealing with some injuries, it's questions about their capabilities, but Coop, I want to talk injury. Go ahead.
I was just going to say
injuries real quick.
Yeah. But when you're talking about nobody has made them, I mean, Baylor has given up 38, 45, and then they had a respectable defensive game against Samford, not Stanford, Samford. So, like, Baylor is getting gashed left and right also. And so just keep that in mind. I mean, they gave up 38 to Auburn in week 1. They gave up 45 to SMU in week 2. So, I mean, that's the best team that Auburn's played to this point. And we saw the kind of the shell shock that Michigan got thrown into.
Exactly. Big time shell shock. Let's talk about our injury report real quick. First, shout out to our partners at Sleeper. Y'all heard us talk about it. Sleeper app. The ultimate sports application if you want to get in there and make game days into paydays. This year, millions of users are going to enjoy playing fantasy sports on Sleeper, not only season long, but also daily fantasy. But the app offers so much more. Live stats. They've got a news feed that gets you all the updates to your favorite players and their performances as you're trying to keep up. Plus, you get real-time chat. You can engage with other players. And so you can talk about those performances that's happening on the field or even on the court. So download the #1 sports app today. Experience it for yourself. Use our promo code UNFAIR. And they will match you 100% on your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. So, Coop, thank y'all all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Injury report we get an official injury report tonight. BV kind of gave us an idea of what's going on the injury side. That's kind of why the depth chart looks like the way it does. So when you look at this here, we'll go ahead and zoom over here on the offensive side of the ball. But our guy is no longer listed on the center spot. No more at Troy Everett, which sucks to hear. BV said that he injured he had another knee injury, but it was the same injury to an opposite knee.
Yeah.
That is just, it's heartbreaking because we knew he worked his tail off to get back last season. And when he got back from that injury, he played the rest of the season. Him and Fabichi Wewu were your 2 most consistent offensive linemen last year as far as playing. When they got in the game and the ability to play, they didn't come out for the most part, which was awesome on his part, but it sucks that we lose him. So that's one. BV is saying Fasusi is hopeful. He said that today. I saw in a post. And I also, Keontae Lewis is expected to play, but we don't know. Ott appears to be, he's going to be healthy enough to play. So I guess, question for you. Keontae doesn't go. Do they put Carry-On out there? Or do you think they shift some people around?
I want to say this is the thing that you're missing from from this offense so far has been obviously the Giovanni Gibson. I don't expect him to be here this week. I know that was asked in the chat. I would say Kent State is probably where you're going to see him.
Yeah.
But I would say that the other person that you and I both love is John Kearney. And I think that the thing that Kearney misses is, I think he's a guy kind of like myself, man. If you want me to produce well, show me, the love language is acts of faith, acts of trust, and I'll do it. That's what will make me go harder. And I think that Carry-On has had he had that circus catch on the sideline he almost made, this past week, which got him a little bit more involved. But I do think that you're going to see a little bit of a rotation over there. You might see some situations where you have Kearney and Carry-On out there at the same time. So
I can see that.
So, but I do really think that Carry-On is a guy who is not going to run away from you. He doesn't have 4.4 speed. He's just a big body. He's going to need to be more along the lines of just possession receiver. So I think that they might throw out there different guys with different concepts in mind on kind of what the routes are going to look like. If you're going to run a slant towards the middle of the field, back behind a blitz, maybe we're going to see some Kearney. If you're going to run some verts, and if you're going to run some stuff on the sideline, some digs, I think maybe some Carry-On. So I think both of those guys are going to be running out there for that.
That makes sense. I'm thinking that, because like you said, I mean, Carry-On's more of a possession guy, but he can get open. He can, and he has the physical tools to shield people off to make those crazy catches. I do expect to see a lot more Zion Kearney out there, because if you really think about it, man, between Burks and Satania, I think the best thing that's happened to us this year is that it's kind of mixed up who's been the top receiver each game. That has been a big deal to me, because that's been our question coming in. Who was going to be that dude besides Burks? You were talking about Satania. You talked about Giovanni Gibson, which I think Giovanni Gibson is going to end up being I think he'll end up being your third guy as he works his way back. But Satania has been a very, very pleasant surprise and has put a smile on my face.
Yeah, you also got to throw Kanik out there. The
and tight end, of course, tight end,
number one tight end in the country. But as far as
the world, Craig,
what's going to happen is these Auburn defensive backs, they're not very good. They're injured and not very good, and so
injured and not very good. I went to the
you're going to be able to
yesterday.
Yeah, you're going to be able to run a lot of those guys in and out. And so not only are they going to have different styles up in front of them, but you're going to have them chasing people all over the place. So I think that's a big opportunity. They've given up a lot to the tight end so far this year. Auburn has. And so I think Trigg had 9 catches for like 99 yards or something in week 1, and he's kind of more of a hybrid type of a tight end. Guy who came with Jackson Dart out of USC, and then now is over there at Baylor. I think that he is going to be I think Kanik's going to be a big opportunity. And with that being said, the threat of the quarterback run, them wanting to stop the run game, and then also Kanik in the middle, you're going to have a lot of options where you have one-on-ones outside. So is this one of the days to where we can get the wheel route to the running back? Is this a day to where we can run some verts and have some options downfield for Burts and Satania? With Satania, he's going to line up more in the middle and then, do that kind of opposite on that post. So I think that the ability to throw out a bunch of different guys who have a lot of different skill sets is going to be something that just keeps them on their heels.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And the good thing is we got a running back in Torrey Blaylock that feels like he's going to definitely be a problem for them. So I am comfortable, as Ben Arbuckle is, about the wide receiver room and the running game. He's very comfortable with each level of it. So I think that's a plus. And then we've also seen John Mateer complete passes to just about everybody. Did Carry-On catch a pass this season so far? I don't think he's caught a pass. Let me go look at the numbers. I don't think he's got one reception. He does not. He had a target, and that was that little one-hander that bobbled, but he didn't catch it. But everybody that has caught a pass this season has caught at least one pass from from John Mateer. So, he's got some sort of relationship. I think the other one here is going to be on defense, though. We don't have, as you all know, I know some of you may know, for the uninitiated, I'll tell you. R. Mason Thomas lost his appeal. BV mentioned that on the call. He is going to miss the first half of the game. And since he's going to miss it, we talked about PJ Adebawore taking over there. I haven't heard any other injuries really on the defensive side. Gentry is supposed to be back.
Gentry's back. So
you'll have Gentry, you'll have Dolby. But this was interesting right here, though. Boganowski is here as an or with Robert Spears Jennings.
Is it interesting, Jay? What is Michael Boganowski good at doing?
Hitting people.
Hitting folks. And Michael Bogan, listen, we all saw during the spring and during the fall camp, you just kept on hearing Reggie Powers. And you really didn't hear anything about Peyton Bowen. You didn't hear anything about Boganowski for a long time. Jay, the fact of the matter is you have Powers, you have Boganowski, you have RSJ, and you have, I guess those three safeties are guys that are hybrids. Those are guys that can play cheetah. Those are guys that can play, maybe that like will linebacker style, that outside linebacker, especially in a team that's probably going to try to muck this game up. And they're going to need to methodically move down the field. And that makes your boy giddy, because if you give Jackson Arnold more decisions, that makes me more happy. And so I think that you're going to see, again, the depth chart. Is it really for showing, guys like where their respective spots are, keep pressing a little bit harder? Because, it's him and Robert Spears Jennings, who's, was a guy that they took to SEC Media Day. We know he's a leader on this field.
Yep.
So for what it tells me is nothing against Robert Spears Jennings. It just is saying, hey, we've got two guys. And, in the safety room, defensive backs, linebackers, stuff like that, it's not the same. It's not the same conversation as quarterback, where if you got two quarterbacks, you got none. Like if in the defensive backfield, it's just we've got lots of guys that we can do great things with, and we're almost to the spoiled point, because and I've said this before, Jay, but how it wasn't very much long ago that we were like, can we just have one safety that's good, just one. We just wanted one back in the day. We just wanted one dude that was going to be good, man. It's like, okay, now we've got like 5 that we're all comfortable with.
Yeah. We've got 5 dudes that we are really comfortable with, and I'm very happy for that.
That doesn't include Amarian Robinson or Marcus Wimberly, who we both know those guys are going to be cats very, very soon too. But I believe that the goal is for Wimberly to redshirt. I don't know about man. Hopefully we don't ever have to get into a situation where we're using our number 6 safety. But that being said, we've got Hardy, Boganowski, Powers, Robert Spears Jennings, and Peyton Bowen. And Peyton Bowen's a guy who is starting to, look like a 5-star. And I think that we're going to see some Peyton. I think we're going to see some Peyton Bowen this week.
Okay. Peyton Bowen's been balling this season so far. He's been playing. He's played some of the. I think he's played the most snaps so far. When I looked at PFF, he's like top 5 on the defensive side of the ball, and that's pretty satisfactory for me. Is that you?
Yes.
You're getting the Peyton Bowen experience that we were hoping for. We've talked about this before, but you're really getting that. That's the good thing, and because of that, Peyton Bowen now can really, really, to me, show out in this game. This is probably the one where he can show really his talents. Because if you think about it, with the wide receiver room that they have, Cam Coleman with and Eric Singleton, who's dealing with a hip pointer right now. You hit him hard enough, you may accidentally make him have to sit for a bit. those over-the-top safeties are going to be critical in making sure that our guys can go one-on-one. Like, going to two deep is going to be critical. But the good thing for us, too, is I have so much confidence in our linebackers.
Yeah.
Like, if we go into a 4-3, Daniels or Powers can play the other linebacker or Cheetah. You can put Daniels in there again with McKenzie if you want to go big. Bring Kip in so he can go in and be able to go also into coverage. I think our defense is built and prepared to stop them from running. I mean, we did against Michigan. We made Michigan go basically a shell of themselves in the run game. They had 140-something yards, and that's not what they average. They're getting 300 yards on a regular basis against people.
And I also think that the cheat code of Kendall Daniels, is probably going to show up this week. Is when you're trying to run a layers type route concept, and if Jackson Arnold decides to do that, I fully believe that we're going to see at least one time where Jackson Arnold throws it and probably hits Kendall Daniels in the belt and he drops it, because that's a 6'5" dude with a 7-foot wingspan right in the middle, and to get the ball up and over him is a little bit of a difficulty. Also, Kip Lewis, we know Auburn fans know who he is. And then on top of it, Kobe out there and Sammy O. So, I mean, like, that's where a lot of the confidence comes from. If we had no idea who Jackson Arnold was when we just watched what kind of quarterback he is trying to be, it's plain and simple. And I think it was, I was just watching somebody doing a film break. It might have been Pate. I think Pate was doing a film breakdown on like on where Jackson Arnold's pass completions have been this year.
Oh yeah, he was talking about that on his show yesterday. Yeah,
it was a U. It was a U. There was nothing in the middle. He has not done it yet. He has, you know that he was uncomfortable doing it when he was here, but they're going to be throwing a lot of the routes that are going to, it's either my guy or nobody. Yeah. I don't think that you're going to see very many 50-50 balls. And now, unless Hugh Freeze decides just kind of, wing it and decide to get Jackson Arnold to start throwing over the middle. We saw how he reacted to Peyton Thorne last year. You give Jackson Arnold a couple 50-50 balls over the middle with guys thumping and popping, that's where I think that we're going to get some turnovers, is deflections over the middle.
All right, yeah, well, let's dive more into Jackson Arnold. But you know what we got to do first? So you think you know ball? Well, then why don't you turn all that knowledge into some real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that turns game day into a payday. So you just download the app, you pick more or less on your favorite players with more stats than any other daily fantasy app out there. 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame to live, pick more or less on their projected stats. You can win up to 1,000 times your money if your pick wins. Like, for example, we're looking at this Thursday night football. Look at that. Tua Tagovailoa is a promotion of half a yard instead of the traditional 200 and something. We're going to go ahead with more because he's going to at least complete one pass, right? But when you go in here to the rest of these Thursday night games, you've got so many options. I mean, there's Josh Allen, 227.5 passing yards. We'll take him on the more. Actually, no, we won't touch that because we don't want to swap our promo. But we'll take this Keon Coleman over here at more. So you pick, like I said, 2 or more players, more or less on their stats, and you can win it big. Use our promo code UNFAIR, and you'll get a 100% match up to $100 on that first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's Terms of Use for details. And y'all don't expect, thank y'all for pulling up, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5. Coop, I don't expect, now we're talking more Jackson Arnold, we're going to keep going into it, because the unfortunate thing for him is this game really is about him. This game is 100% about him, mainly because, and it's not even because he played here, it's because he's the quarterback. And so, as you mentioned, Josh Pate on his show, the Josh Pate College Football Show, give him a view. Shout out to him. He's really good at what he does. He was talking about looking at the pass chart, the dots shaped into a U. So it looks like a Miami shape, just like that, mainly because they can't leverage the middle. The main reason why that typically happens, you can't leverage the middle, is you're not throwing the ball with anticipation. That, and you can't put the proper touch on it to make it go over the top of people's heads. And that's something that we see. So, yeah, it's it's one of those where I think that for us, the best way to get him is going to have to be similar to the way that Ole Miss played, brute force. Brute force your way the entire game against him and keep him basically running the entire time. I'm wondering who the spy is going to be, because we got to have a spy.
You know, I was thinking about that, and I was going back and digging into some commentary on how you run a spy for a guy who gets out. And I think that most of the time you want a spy for somebody who is going to be scanning the field, like when you're playing a Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's, his goal is to get the ball downfield. Jackson Arnolds is going to be a one-read go, maybe a two-read go. I think that we're going to see a lot of max protect. They're going to do a lot of plus one. When you can do what this defensive line of Oklahoma can do, and you can win 4-on-5s when they've got 5 guys in protect and you're rushing 4, I think that essentially what you're going to see is you're going to see a quarterback, or you're going to see one of the linebackers, potentially one of the safeties, who is going to have RPO responsibility on the quarterback. And Jay, what really gets me jacked up about this is it's going to change often, but I saw in the Michigan game, I saw Marvin Jones Jr. have quarterback responsibility on the RPO, and he lit up Bryce Underwood. I saw Michael Boganowski during, I believe it was this past week, have quarterback responsibility, and he lit up the quarterback. So I think that it's not just when he keeps the ball and takes off. I think that when he does that RPO and you've got that quarterback responsibility, we have with the coverage that we have, I don't think that you're going to, and until Jackson Arnold in this Auburn offense proves the fact that they can consistently throw it downfield, and I'm not talking about 1 or even 2 passes. If he throws 2 jump balls and they come away with 2 of them, I think he probably make an adjustment at that point. But you're willing to live with that. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to have somebody is going to have that responsibility on the quarterback, and it does not matter if he pulls the ball. If it's not going to be a penalty, you light his butt up. If he does pull the ball and you have the opportunity, you light his butt up, because we know that Jackson, he's not fast, he's not super quick, he just is, he's all will. And so I think that that's what's going to happen is the moment that he pulls the ball, somebody's going to lick into him, and it's going to make him make business decisions, and that's where you're going to see him hand off when he probably should pull it.
I kind of disagree with you there. I think Jackson Arnold's pretty fast and quick. I think he's got the agility to get the heck up out of stuff. We've seen him do it in games. I think for us, the most important thing is, and you basically said it, is regardless of if he pulls or not, hit the quarterback. Do not switch in between the two. Don't try to chase after the run. No. Because Jeremiah Cobb is actually a solid back this year. He's having a very solid season. You do not want to get in a situation where you are just where they can switch you up. Go after the quarterback. Watch for him to run more than he actually hands off. Force him to get rid of the ball. In an ideal world, we will be forcing Deuce Knight on the field. That would be an ideal situation for this game. If we do well enough, because offensively, I think we can go do the same thing that Baylor did to them. I think we can run and pass on them. I think we can get some big, deep plays because Satania and Burks are fast. Kearney is fast, right? You've got it. Keontez, if he does play, he's fast. So you'll have the opportunity to go deep. Kanik, pretty fast.
Kanik's pretty fast.
We've got a lot of speed. The most important thing, though, is going to be making sure that we keep a rhythm and burn as much clock as possible. Because, that's going to be the thing they're going to do. Their goal is going to be to keep the ball out of John Mateer's hands. And I think our defense focus is going to be, you're not going to be able to keep us off the field, bro. We're gonna take what we want here.
Yeah, and in the perfect world is you make every single play memorable. You cover your assignment. You that's what you do. Is there's no need, and that's where this defense has been really, really good this year. Has been guys are playing their lanes. They're playing their assignment. They're staying focused, and they're not trying to play hero ball. They're not collapsing too hard. They're not getting out of their lanes. They're playing assignment sound football. I don't necessarily believe that Auburn's ever going to be in a hurry up. They're going to want to get their play call in. They're going to want to make sure that they got it correct. They may have one or two times to where they, have maybe a stack type concept where you run one play with an expectation to run something the next. So I have a full belief that kind of like how Michigan took some time.
Yeah.
I think Auburn's going to take their time too because they want to make sure it's correct. And then if you get, I was just repeating myself from a second ago. If you get the opportunity and it's, within the rules of the game to lay into Jackson, whether he pulls or whether he keeps the ball, or pulls or whether he hands it off, you're going to put him on his backside several times, and which kind of leads into a sub question. Jay, is people asked about booing Jackson Arnold. Is it okay to boo Jackson Arnold?
Look, man, I've said this on multiple platforms. We talked about it on Locked On Sooners this morning. Talked about it on Locked On SEC. I'm actually going to go on an Auburn show right after this, so keep your eyes open for that. Yes, you can boo him. Shout out to our girl OU Christie, the Raging Lunatic. Do y'all not realize that we literally booed him here when he was our actual quarterback?
Yes. But here's the thing.
Don't be disrespectful, but boo the man, yes.
You don't, in the middle of the game, you don't boo anybody. You cheer that we just put him on his ass. You cheer that we just made him look like a fool. Is there other people that are going to be screaming at him as he's running back to the sideline? Heck yeah. But the fact that you, like when they run out the tunnel, there's not going to ever be a, like an NBA lineup type of a situation where they're announcing Jackson Arnold and everybody can boo him. The deal is yes, we booed him there were a lot of people that booed him here with massive recruiting weekend going on. And so I would say this is nobody is booing Jackson Arnold. He just wasn't as good as we thought he was going to be. And that's why he's running a very, very kind of option-esque, offensive system at Auburn now. And so, no, I don't think that there's going to be – that's right, Coach. I don't think it's going to be that. I think that you're going to hear, instead of boos, it's going to be people cheering as loud as possible when he gets sacked. He throws an interception. He fumbles the ball. He does Jackson Arnold things. That's what's going to happen.
Riddle me this. How many turnovers do you think we can create this game? We have 0 turnovers so far this season. How many turnovers do you think we can get?
I said 3. I think that it could be a lot more, but I'm going to say that there's going to be just a plain simple interception. I think there's going to be a tip pass, which is either going to lead to a wonky catch and then a fumble, and then there's just going to be a legitimate fumble.
Okay, I like it. I'm going for. I think there'll be 3 turnovers in this game. I think there'll be 3 turnovers in this game that will cause. And it'll be some fumbles. It'll be some because I know the one thing, as Coach Powers mentioned, there's no blue jersey, So we're going to switch a lot of things up, as far as the way the looks are going to be. We're going to have some delayed blitzes. We know that's going to happen. We're going to have Boganowski shoot in there like a missile. And as soon as the pocket shifts, somebody's going to get hit. You may see a helmet fly. Now, that's the one thing I would like, is that if we get a defensive score this game, because that's something I miss. I miss that. We haven't had that at all this year. It's just been so weird that we have not had any of that. But we need to get this. We need to get the turnover. We need to make that happen, and I think we can in this one. This was the one where I feel like we'll probably make something happen. Coop, what's your before we get on the score predictions? Someone asked a question in here about our boy Daniel Okoye. So there is no BV said that he's healthy now. He traveled with them to Temple. He wasn't in uniform, though. I think he was dealing with something small. But they rested him because now they're definitely playing him, especially with R. Mason Thomas out. So you're going to see a lot of Daniel Okoye in this game. And if he's where he needs to be and he's at the athletic portion of him, boy, it's going to be good.
Yeah. Danny's ready. He wants to get in there. I mean, obviously that's a good opportunity. This game is going to be. This is a Captain Obvious quote here, but if you get to where we're up by 14, double digits, etc., and you get them out of their offense, it is going to be fast meet at the quarterback type of game for this defensive line. The interior, I do say this, the interior of their offensive line is probably their strength. Their center's really good. I think they're both their guards are really good. Their tackles are kind of the weak link, but they're a good offensive line. And so I expect some really, really new things for Jackson because he hasn't been tested up the middle yet. But we have seen Jaden, Grayson, Dom, and Stoney. We've seen every single one of these guys, every single game so far, just absolute blow up a play before it got started. And that's the stuff where you saw against Tulane last year where Jackson Arnold threw the just quick pop pass and somebody was waiting for it and they ran it back pick six. And that's where we're going to see those opportunities is nobody has really stressed out that interior of their offensive line yet. The outside is a little bit easier because then he can step up or he can run around the outside. And so what you're going to have, again, like I said, is when whoever has the quarterback assignment on these plays, they're going to have to get out there and make tackles in space. I do, Jay, think that at some point there's going to be oops, look what we found. It's happened a couple times so far this year to where
oopsie baby.
We line up in a defensive, play call that if they do one thing, they're going to get us, and that's that 75-yard touchdown against Michigan was it. There was one of the plays against Illinois State, Indiana State, whoever state, week one.
The state of the state.
The state of something
State.
So where I think that's going to be is there's going to be one to where you're going to have somebody, who's probably going to have a slant go back behind them because they stepped up too soon and maybe get somewhat of an explosive play. But, I do really think that the interior defensive line is what's going to really cause the biggest amount of havoc for Jackson Arnold and the Auburn offense.
Okay. Give me your you got a score prediction for me?
I do. I've thought about it long and hard. I went 38-10. 38-10. I think that this score, I don't think that OU is going to have a chance to really just run away with it. I think Auburn is going to really try to slow down, keep the game clock running. I think that they have to be methodical. I think that that's going to be one thing that they're going to try to do is get Jackson Arnold, into some kind of a rhythm. I don't think they come out and just start bombing it down the field. They know who Jackson Arnold is. They know what his psyche is. They know what it means coming down here. And, listen, the risk reward is if you throw the ball downfield, early and he gets a completion, I don't think it's going to be for just a wide open touchdown. I just don't think that anybody's been able to show that you can throw downfield on OU. And so they're going to start out kind of doing what we want them to do, and that is a short game. And every single time that they do something short, their guys are going to get hit by a lot of people hard, a lot of people quick, and nobody wants to do that for 60 minutes.
I agree with you 100% there. I'm at 25-9. I think it's going to be a lot of clock being burned. I think they're going to get opportunities to kick field goals, and they'll make a few. So I do think we keep them from scoring a touchdown. I think we keep that streak alive up until at least the Texas game, if not the South Carolina game, because, Texas is kind of questionable in the scoring touchdowns department right now, the way their quarterback play is going as well. But I'm actually about to head over to my guys over there at the War Report. Auburn Gents. Going to go over there and talk some smack, talk about the game as we prepare for it. So if y'all want to join me, the link is pinned at the top That's where I'm going to head on over actually in 1 minute. So thank y'all all for pulling up. Please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. Make sure you go and sign up. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to match your first $100 deposit at 100%. Link is also in the description below. For Coop and Jay, maybe we'll drop another video later this week. I don't know. We'll see how Coop feels. But we know that, hey, it's SEC opening week. Y'all better get hyped. Peace.